How's it going, everyone? Dylan, Carlo, and Braden here from All You Can Board, back with another collection roast. We got 5 collections here to mostly roast, let's be honest. I think we say that every time, but we'll try not to be too harsh. We don't want anyone, unsubscribing from the channel just because of the comments we give on their collection. So the way we are doing this is that each episode now, one of us is going to kind of be the pseudo like host and sort of have looked at the photos ahead of time, and kind of lead some of the discussion, whereas the other two haven't really spent much time looking at the photos. So this time I am leading it. Carlo led the last one. I'm going to jump right in. So this is Daniel's collection, and the only preface I'll give to this is that he did say that this collection is one and that comes in a household of like a family of 6, I believe. Kids range, age range like 5 to 12, I think it was. So yeah, this is a full family collection here. And the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in right over here. And we're going to look at the fact that top shelf billing goes to the Evertree. My God, look at that right there.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. But he does have the Everdell complete collection there as well. So I just feel like it's not completely unheard of that would be, the most coveted game in his collection and deserve top shelf billing.
I'm getting anxiety with just how everything is stacked right now. It's like you've got Magic Maze.
I know. I was going to say
Yeah.
Carlo's favorite game right there on the top shelf.
Yeah.
But like everything stacked on top of one another. Everdell puzzle also underneath the Everdell tree. I mean, keeping it thematic, I guess, too.
I was going to ask you guys, what do you guys both think is in this weird D20 that is super huge and looks like it's a container of some kind?
It's
More
obviously
D20s?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's just more D20s, baby. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, good. The other things I was going to point out was big collection of root. Big
Yeah,
root
nice.
fan right there, which you love to see. I feel
What's
like
on top of root? Weather. Sorry, I don't.
Weather machine.
Weather machine.
Oh, weather machine. Right.
Sorry, continue.
And then
Well, there was
also,
another root box at the top of the shelf, though. Why is the root
Was
split
there?
up? Wasn't
Where's
there?
the other root box?
Yeah, look, above Magic Maze.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Below Silver
Oh,
Bullet.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on here?
I don't know what kind of root. That almost doesn't look like it's one of the expansions. I wonder if that's like like I don't even know, like a figure thing. It looks different than the rest of the boxes.
Well, that's the root that he doesn't want his kids to be able to read.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever's
everything on the higher shelves is what's out of reach of the kids.
Yeah.
There's he's a big Spirit Island fan. He's got I think
huge.
every version of Spirit Island here, including I think that's the Horizons or what. There's a new like entry level version of Spirit Island, which I think is that thinner
Yeah.
box there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Branch and Claw and Jagged Earth both there, yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed that almost every shelf has indistinct things just stuffed in above it. Like almost every shelf, there's something I can't identify. Like there's this red one here. There's this like Neapolitan colored one above Cat Lady on the left here. There's a bunch of these indescript ones above Isle of Cats and Obsession. They're like it's everywhere.
I'm never gonna recommend someone get rid of games, because their collection's their collection. But I recommend checking out Curating My Collection by Carlo to give, because it looks like this is the person who just like needs space and they're just like, this is all I have, and they're just stuffing it in there, which I respect. But there's a limit.
The top right cube is especially tough to look at there for me.
I agree.
I respect that it's probably mostly Magic the Gathering cards because I imagine there's like decks and stuff in there.
True.
But still.
But they're all just unlabeled, so they gotta be marked.
I was going to say, some would say unacceptable, that cube.
Yeah.
And by some, I mean me. I would say it's unacceptable. But you know what is acceptable is Feast for Odin sitting right there.
Yeah.
That's super
That's the best you can say about your #1 game of all time, eh? Acceptable. Real passionate there.
I gotta say, just one in the bottom right hand corner. I can see it.
Oh, now the
can
real
see it.
question is Agricola on this shelf?
Gotta be in one of those like deluxe boxes somewhere tucked away. Maybe it was on
Yeah,
the
of
top
course.
shelf and we just missed it. No need
Probably-
to go back and check, of course, but I'm sure it's up there somewhere.
It's probably just on its own shelf in another picture.
Yeah, exactly. He's got an Agricola shrine in his bedroom, so
That's
we
right,
didn't get
that's
that
right,
photo
yeah.
sent in.
He sleeps on it, actually. He sleeps on the box instead of a pillow.
What do you guys think of a huge, heavy game like Coffee Traders being relegated to being on top of 4 other games, just crushing them beneath?
You got to do what you got to do, Sometimes these are hard decisions, and what is it? Heavy weighs wears the crown or something like this. I can't remember what
That's
the saying
that's
is.
exactly the phrase. No, that's it. You got it.
Heavy.
Heavy wears the crown.
Yeah, I knew it, man.
I think, if I had one word to describe this collection, I think it would be precarious. There's just a lot that I just feel uncomfortable
teetering.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's teetering.
Yeah.
There
I
are a
like
few of those games where he's got the kind of like multi-box, like you say, not only Root, he's got multi-zombie sides, lots of pandemics, like
Yeah.
all the Spirit Islands, like you said, there's Marvel Zombies at the top there,
Yeah.
multiple Everdell boxes. Like when he likes a game, he likes it.
Yeah. I think honestly my biggest takeaway from this collection is that, Braden, I think you're right on the money. I think it's time to watch Carlos curating videos, get inspired, learn to be ruthless, and get rid of enough games from the shelf that everything that's on the top can be inserted into cubes except for top shelf billing can stay on the top. Cool. So that is collection one. That's Daniel's collection. A big thank you for him sending it in. We got this a while back, but like Carlos mentioned before, in I think the last video, we have lots of collections to go through. We're finally getting to some of them. So big thanks for putting up with the wait there, and hopefully you enjoyed seeing your collection on our channel.
Yeah, I think you got off easy here. We took it very easy. Didn't do much roasting, but these next few,
yeah, we're gonna roast the hell out of them.
Watch out! I got my fire hands. See?
Yeah. The collection you guys are going to see next is going to be JJE's collection, and there's a couple photos here, and this is the first one we're going to start with, and the next one is going to show us a different angle of this same collection. But the very first thing I wanted to point out is it looks like this board game shelf is sharing the shelf with a lot of things that are not board game related. Okay, because we've got like. My favorite is just this random blue. At first I thought this was a cup that was somehow sitting on an angle, and I was really impressed. But I think that's just the top of a lamp that's hiding behind Cascadia.
Oh, yeah.
But we've got like literal plates in here that it's sharing with. There are deck boxes everywhere. There's like one here. There's one here. When I show you the other angle, there's a bunch over here on the side. Like there's just deck boxes everywhere.
Dylan, you're to blame for you. Well, you and Braden, because it's clearly Marvel Champions stuff. Look at these stacks of Marvel Champions boxes.
That's true. Yeah,
you clearly got him into the game, and look what you've done. Look what you've done to his house.
Come on, mine are clearly organized, even right behind me. You might not be able to see it because it's so small, but I take no offense here. And the plates, how else are you passing your board games out? I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're right.
Serve them up,
Serve them up on a platter. More deck boxes just sitting down here. There's a bunch of CDs. Some call it a dying media. JJE calls it a present media. He's got tons of them here.
Also, look at this. You've got Nintendo DS versions of Scrabble and Jenga. This is meta.
And Clubhouse games too, which is a bunch of mini games, crosswords in there. Like, yeah, there's a reason those are on the shelf. There's a bunch of these look like either vinyls or magazines or something back here. Like, this shelf, every single possible space is being used, and I feel bad that the board games have. It looks like the board games have like almost infected the shelf. Like they've just taken it over from everything it used to be. And I think more than anything, you just need to get a board game only shelf, because this is just doing a disservice to board games that they have to share this much.
Wasn't there some comment in his email about his wife referring to this as like the corner or something like that? There was some sort of not derogatory term, but some sort of like
that's going to be up here now. The corner.
The corner.
Quick thing here I got to point out. Why is Modern Art one of the greatest games ever below a bunch of other games that are nowhere near as good as Modern Art?
Shame. I know, and you're right. Like around the bottom, and like it's almost like the boxes get bigger as it goes up.
Bigger. Those games are definitely all heavier. Absolutely.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if you guys do this. I mean, obviously not. I'm crazy, but like, if I was to stack boxes, I would stack the biggest box on the bottom and then continue getting smaller, right?
Well, I mean, first off, I don't stack my games, like
a barbarian,
exactly, like some kind of animal.
Fair,
but I mean, he got it right with the Marvel United. He's not crushing the boxes, but
yeah. I will say, obviously, big Marvel, not just Marvel Champions fan, but also Marvel United fan. I think that's the all-in pledge, where you got like if it's not the all-in, it's almost, because that's like a lot about Marvel United boxes.
That's half.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that's just half. That's the half pledge. And then also a big fan of Frosthaven being there, and I'm wondering if all the booklets for Frosthaven are out of it because he's still referring to them and learning how to play, or because he can't figure out how to repackage the box and get them to fit in there with the lid closing. Because I've been there with Gloomhaven, so I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just gonna go to the other angle of this photo. which is right here, just so we can see what's on this shelf over
hiding.
here.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a bunch of small box games, and look, so another couple other deck boxes hiding here. So he's got Quacks. Quacks box is
I've been there.
overflowing. It's popping right off the hinges there.
So is the expansion.
I was gonna say, so is the expansion. I almost would have thought maybe Quacks was popping off like that because the expansion was in that box. But no.
He definitely did this on purpose, just sliding wingspan between those balls. He's seen our roasts before, and you know he did this on purpose just to grind our gears.
Yeah,
JJ, how dare you?
that's such an easy fix.
Yeah.
ISS Vanguard. What are you guys' thoughts without having ever played it?
It looks like a great table.
There's a lot of sleeves down here on the shelf.
Yeah, for Marvel Champions, obviously.
Yes, for sure. I like that Anomia is just randomly on the shelf.
Hiding out there.
I love
Relegated
that.
to the bottom shelf alongside Cards Against Humanity.
They have little knife fights to fight it out. He's like, I'm going to be next.
Yeah. Do we think that this sheet is covering something he didn't want the public to see? Behind there's the really messy board game shelf.
I mean, if you didn't want the public to see what's behind there, you might have covered the all the plates and everything else with the sheet too. It's kind of a mess in general.
And then one other thing I did want to point out is that some of the artwork you're seeing in this photo here, I think actually maybe all the artwork. So that one you're seeing in the top right, top left corner, and then the ones you're seeing in the top left over there on the wall. I believe he actually made himself, and so he sent in this one as a close-up. This is actually one that he made himself.
Awesome.
And if anyone wants to see more of his art or just like peruse it, he does have a website. And the website is jjegraphics.com. And maybe Braden, if you even want to use your savvy editing skills and put that.
It sounds pretty hard.
Yeah, if you can pull it off, that would be amazing. Any last comments here?
I just had a visceral reaction the first time I saw this. I've calmed down since, but
yeah,
I think it's time to get organized. It's time.
I agree. And you know what? At least we know he's thinking the same thing, because if we look over here, he's got a thing of enhancing polish that is probably the sign of him starting to clean this up.
Oh my god!
Obviously,
I thought it was like Raid, and he was like gonna like destroy his board games by spraying. I thought that's where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Also, amongst all this stuff, I just love that there looks like there's just a bunch of garlic right here. Just that.
I was gonna ask.
kind of
Yeah.
Some kind of spice.
To spice up the games,
Of course. Thank you so much for sending in your collection, JJE. If you actually did want us to call you by a different name, I apologize, but that's what you sign up for email, so that's what I call you. Thank you so much for sending.
Give modern art the proper top shelf billing it deserves in this collection.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's the real takeaway here is if you do one thing to change this collection, just move modern art to the top of that stack so that you don't accidentally crush that precious box.
Yeah, right on top of Arc Nova. Like
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. On top of everything Marvel.
All right, next collection. This one I believe is Shane. This is shelf number 1 here. Obviously a comic fan, but also has a graded version of a Spawn comic on display, which is pretty cool. Is a 9.2 good, Braden? Do you know?
It's okay. Usually you want like a 9.8 is probably some of the highest in the CGC terms, but yeah, 9.2 totally fine.
Trash is what you mean. This is trash.
It's awful.
Trash.
You may as well burn it.
I really want to play Hues and Cues, and I forgot that you have that game, Braden.
I do. Actually, I've lent it out, and it's probably been lent out for almost a year now to one of my friends, and she has not, along with my copy of So Clover, actually. But we'll get back to that later.
So those are her copies now, essentially.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Just one though, as well. I mean, come on.
And Monstrosity.
I love that there's just one. Monstrosity and Wavelength are among the 3 most played high player count games in my collection. And when we get together with big groups, we're playing those 3 all the time. So really nice to see those. Have you guys heard of Puns of Anarchy? That's just I don't even know what to say about that.
No.
But as soon as I saw it on the shelf, I immediately thought this might be a game that Braden likes because he is one of the best pun creators and like spontaneous and quick pun makers that I've encountered.
Yeah, it's basically my entire life.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna say he was one of the biggest Sons of Anarchy fans. I was like, what? I didn't know that about Braden's never mentioned Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, huge fan.
What do you think about Quacks of Quedlinburg being the game that he has chosen to display prominently here?
I like it. I mean, I like the art. I think it's nice and bright, fits beautifully. It's not sitting in a precarious spot. There's no dishes or anything. It's good.
I'll have to see what else the collection has before I.
Yeah, I was going to say Carlo might have something to say about that. I mean, to be fair, Hadrian's Wall has an entire cube to itself.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, definitely.
What is Pass the Pigs? Has anyone ever heard of this?
Yes, I actually own this game.
Oh,
You
what?
basically, I've played this game, believe it or not.
Tell us about Pass the Pigs.
And now, a short pig interlude.
Okay. You basically roll. There are 2 plastic pigs that you have, and you roll the pigs, and depending on how the pigs land, you score different points.
Are you making this up?
I'm really not.
Okay.
I'm actually crying. Because if they're like if they land like on top of each other and they like intersect or whatever, you get like mega points or something like that. Or if they
This
land
doesn't
like
sound like a real game.
yep, it's
So you
it's
just
basically-
roll them and then you see what you get and you pass them and that's it.
I think that's basically it, from my understanding.
I don't.
My
I was
God,
trying to-
solid wood Mancala.
I saw that. Also, the old version of Balderdash and Mastermind, which and Dominoes,
Nice.
which is
Yeah,
what's it's really weird to me is that this shelf looks like it's all vintage. I'm even guessing that the red and blue plastic things there might either be like Battleship. Or yeah.
Oh,
So
I
we've
was
got-
gonna
we've-
say Guess Who. But
yeah,
maybe
that was my other
okay,
thought.
yeah.
So like it's one of those old games. Then we have like 4 old games beneath it, and then out of nowhere, just Terraforming Mars right beside it on the shelf.
Stone Cold Classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding.
That's the solid wood version of Terraforming Mars. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's shelf 1. Shelf 2.
Aesthetics so far, top notch.
Shelf 2. We've got Marvel Champions with top shelf billing, and I bet you anything that
Oh, yeah.
these white boxes are full of Marvel Champions.
Or just some
Exactly.
really old pizza.
yeah.
It's probably just plates, guys.
This entire top thing is really solid. Like Search Planet X, Sky
Yeah.
Team.
Can you
Park,
ask me
Audinart,
again about
Radlands.
Quacks of Quedlinburg now that
Yeah.
we've seen this? Because now that we've seen this, no, Quacks should not be displayed ahead of the likes of Modern Art and Sky
No.
Team and Fit to Print. Real nice to see that there.
In-
That's a
in-
new one.
In fairness, I think the qualifications to be a display game, potentially, I mean, it should be your favorite game, but I think in terms of aesthetics, it should be a larger box that takes up a similar size to that cube. Modern art box, kind of a little
Well,
bit small.
How do
It's a
you
little bit small.
explain Hadrian's Wall then?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. There's-
I'm glad you just folded in half there, Braden, rather than trying to stand your ground.
I love that
Okay, fair
Marvel.
enough.
I love that Marvel Champions not only gets top shelf billing with the display, it also gets its own cube.
Huge.
You love to see it. It's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Nemesis gets its own cube too.
Yep, I mean, the box is pretty much the same size either way you put it, so
Yeah,
Not quite,
That's true. We've got a wide selection of different types of games in here. Like there's Roll and
Yeah.
Rights with Three Sisters. There's 2-player games with Caesar. Another 2-player game with Codenames. We got Fort is a game I haven't played, but Carlo, you've played.
Yeah, the Sail, which Braden's been talking about a bunch recently.
I really want to play
Yeah.
that so bad.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Are these just a bunch of cardboard things that were punched out and he kept them all?
Oh yes.
What? Why?
Uh-oh.
But why?
What
why?
are they being
why
saved for? Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be a reason. Like there has to be a use that they're getting out of this, because otherwise I don't know why you'd hold on to them if they're all punched out.
For fans, to fan yourself.
Yeah, with all the holes in them and stuff.
It's faster that way.
That's true. Yeah, air circulation. Wow. Yeah,
Nice
that
to
is
see
just.
Cafe down there.
Yeah, agreed.
Great game.
And then the last photo is this one right here. Let's just start with the fact that he doesn't really show them, but he's got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on display at the top here.
Yeah.
And
sick.
and look, he's got a 9.8 grade, Braden.
Huge.
There it
Oh,
is.
That's a good one.
There it is.
Do not
there's
burn that.
there's Splendor. Splendor is
no.
separate from Cities of Splendor. I'm not happy about that at all. What is Escape the Dark Sector, the game
Oh.
of deep space adventure?
I can't remember exactly, but I've looked into this game too. I think I always confuse it with another game very similar to this that has like hexagons, I think, like mini hexagons. But I think this game is.
Come
I
on,
think
Brayden.
this
There's a
game
lot
is
of games that are
different
hexagons. You described like 80% of board games.
Yeah, I think
I'm
You
keeping
mean
it very
these six-sided things that you roll? What are they called? Dice, I
I'm
believe.
keeping it very generic because I don't know exactly what this. But there's also other of these in like a series. There's like Escape the Dark Sector. There's like There's like a castle one or something. I think as well.
And I believe every single component in that game is just black and white. I don't think there's any colors in that.
Oh wow,
I believe you're right.
It's a very distinct art style.
that's cool. No respect for the wolves, just in full shrink.
It's fairly no respect.
If anything, the more respected.
Maybe you're right.
crisp.
He's looking
He's just
for
waiting
that,
to punch the components out so he can stash them next to the couch there with the rest of the punch boards.
or to get it graded at 9.8.
Yeah, exactly. Nice to see Micro Macro.
What about nice to see a Guild of Merchant Explorers? I never see that in
Yes.
people's collection. That's great.
It's one of the
And
better
wait.
solo games around.
The Terraforming Mars stuff is not with the Terraforming Mars.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And
Wait a
isn't
second.
this just also a wait? What?
Because it was
Another
Oh, yeah,
copy of the
right?
same
Right there.
Is that not the same Terraforming Mars?
Terraforming Mars there.
No,
Oh,
but
wait.
the one next to the Guild of Merchant Explorers. What version is that?
Oh yeah, it is the same one. Terraforming Mars, the regular, and then
Because there's Ares
Oh.
Expedition in the dice game, but what's the one next to Guild of Merchant Explorers? That's just also Terraforming Mars.
That's the non-solid wood version.
yes, of course.
Oh,
the
right.
the game's so good you have to own it twice. Yeah, and then Carlo's other favorite game, Ares Expedition, and his soon-to-be favorite game, Terraforming Mars, the dice game.
Listen, for your sake, Shane, I hope you at least got the Ares Expedition version that has the dual layered punch boards because I have no idea why they went and made another version in the Terraforming Mars line where you can just slide those cubes around everywhere.
And then the last thing I want to show you guys, to just get your first-hand impressions, is he actually designed I think it's the tops of these white boxes here. So he actually made a custom cover for both of them for his Marvel Champions, and this is what they look like.
Oh, that is
slick.
awesome.
Oh man.
Super
Okay.
nice, eh?
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
thought it was
see
pretty
this.
sweet.
Are these 9.8s though?
Ooh, I mean, they used to be, and then he taped them to the top of these boxes. That is Shane's collection. Some really
Nice.
cool stuff in here, and honestly, pretty
Very nice.
in terms of organization. So far, the best organized collection we've seen today. Like it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
perfect,
yeah.
but it's pretty slick.
it's pretty clean. It's pretty inviting. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely very inviting. Just group up that stuff. Group it up.
Yeah. And biggest takeaway is please go to the comments and let us know what the heck these are being kept for. I need to know why you're keeping these punch boards. I'm just so
Yes.
curious. There has to be a reason, and I need to know what it is. Thank you so much, Shane, and thank you again for supporting us on Patreon.
And also, where does Mancala rank in your top 10 games of all time?
Yes, exactly. Or are you asking me, or you want to know from Shane?
No, I'm asking Shane.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Well, I mean, also, if it's in your top 10 suddenly, when you're
gonna-
list
you know what?
just
You're
out of
gonna-
nowhere, you haven't played it in years, suddenly
You-
Mancala roaring into Dylan's top 10.
You heard it here first. Mancala, I'm telling you, is going to be on my top 50. You just don't know where it's going to be.
Yeah. Is this only because you still have mixed it up with Mandala?
Moving on, we're just going to go to the next collection here. Okay, so this collection belongs to Phil. And Phil has sent in a lot of photos, and there's a lot of games in this collection. And he also stressed that this was after he had just sold 114 games at a local convention. This is actually what's still remaining after he sold 114 games.
And he has a
this
bunch of games at friends' houses and stuff too, right?
Yep. And he doesn't believe in top shelf billing, but doesn't mean we're not going to hold him to it as we go through this. And he is Team Agricola, and we'll get a little bit more into that as we go through this collection because he's Team Agricola in a hard way, and a big way.
Someone had to be eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, eventually. Wow.
Someone needs to
I won't
be Team
even
Agricola.
start to defend this because this video will go 2+ hours if I start. But let's get right back to the collection.
Yeah, so there are games on like every type of shelf you can imagine here. So like you'll see, we'll start with this one. This is obviously like a hanging or a floating shelf he's got going on here. Many of these games are in shrink. I can
That's what I was
still
gonna say.
yeah, like it's
Some of
we've
these
seen-
are like not new though. Like a lot of these are
I
older
know.
games in shrink.
I
that's-
feel like I would love to know whether he is like whether he buys games thinking like I'm never gonna probably open this. I'm doing this mostly to be a collector, and then he buys other ones to open, and he kind of like is a collector and board game player at the same time. Because like you said, like they're not all new games that he just hasn't got to. It seems like there's an intentional choice to like not open some games.
Yeah, like seriously, Navigador is like probably more than 10 years old, maybe
Yeah.
15 years old. Like the fact he's got these in shrink is surprising.
I know. And then we move on to more up here, and I just need to point out, very first thing I need to point out is this shelf is failing. Like this shelf is gonna
Oh
spill.
no!
Like
Oh no!
and like it's because he has this double layer thing stacked there. Like I can see it breaking. Like this is not safe. These are all gonna take a spill. I'll also say this is not the last time we're gonna see shelves like on the brink of failing. So it's a bit of a theme. We need to get through to Phil here and tell him that it's time to move some of these games off these shelves.
Distribute the weight.
Here is another shelf that is being used to its full potential. Right on the very end of the shelf, where it's going to have the most potential bend, is just where you have this precarious stack going right to the ceiling of two huge box games. You love to see it, don't you?
You do. Wait a sec, I just realized. Look at the reflection in that, in the piece of art on the wall. Is that you on screen, Dylan?
No, is
Wait,
it?
what? Oh, is it?
TV video?
Enhance.
Freeze and enhance.
There's a reflection of the man's face.
A reflection.
There's a reflection.
Why can't I? Oh, I
long
can see
hair?
it now, right there. Right?
Yeah, that's definitely you.
Look
What
at that.
video was that?
Look at that guy right there. Looks just like me.
Now we gotta find the video that it's from and then overlay it.
Man.
That's true. Yeah.
Man, we're CSI on this. Tigris and Euphrates in shrink.
Bill, what are you
Ooh,
doing? This is one of my Grail
wow.
games. No, I'm just kidding. I have a copy now, but
I feel like it gets
my
it gets to a
God.
point where you have to just like leave it in shrink because
Honestly.
it's such an old game, right?
What if he
yeah.
what if he re-plastic wrapped these himself and it's not the original shrink?
Devious and
Devious. That's like you're
Not
calling him. You're calling him out.
No, I said what if. I said what if.
Okay, now we get into like an actual shelf here, like what we're used to seeing. Lots
Well,
more games.
actual shelf, yes.
Yeah.
Dylan thinks that those shelves don't count.
Lots more games in shrink, but some big names here: Maracaibo, Cloud Age, After the Empire, Whistle Mountain, Manhattan Project. Like games that I've heard varying things about, but generally I've heard positive
Yeah.
things.
This guy has like every medium to heavyweight Euro ever
True.
designed, basically.
Yeah.
So many of
Also-
them that I either want to try and like are tough to find. Like, man, he's got At the Gates of Loyang, one of the Uwe games we haven't been able to find anywhere here and haven't tried yet.
Look at this shelf. This is the one I've been waiting to show you guys. Look at these games up here. So we've got Miss Pac-Man, the board game. We've got Alfred Hitchcock Y, the Harlem Globetrotters board game. Favorite of mine. What about the Bionic Woman?
interesting.
What about it?
Yeah.
Is that ages 7 to 12 only? It's like, what, that's a weird. Only
Yeah.
between these ages. For 5 years, you can play this game.
I love that. Is this game Wicked, the Ewok?
Wicked the Ewok?
What is going on, man?
Yeah, this is my favorite section
Yeah.
of
Is-
every.
is the Cabbage Patch Kids game in shrink?
I think it
Oh my
is.
God, I think you're right.
You know how much that's going to be worth one day, Braden?
No.
Even the Dick Tracy game over here is in shrink.
Oh yeah.
Classic. You never know.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Man, so this is a true, like, this is a collector here.
Yeah. Okay, this is the other shelf that's bending.
Oh, you
Look at
can
that
just
bend.
see the bow in
Look at
that,
bend.
instantly.
Oh goodness.
And like this one's gonna break right in the middle of all these games that are
And
in
look,
shrink.
he's
and-
tried stacking stuff on top just on the left and the right. That's not gonna do anything, Phil. It's
Oh man, I love the shelves in this collection so much. It's great.
Shout out to the shelves doing all the work.
Yeah.
yeah. Serious
There's a-
heavy lifting.
There's a
Monza.
big variety of games. So we have newer games like Red Rising and Paris. We've got like wait, what is
Trois.
that? Trois,
Trois,
yeah.
yeah.
I always want to call it Troyes. I don't know why.
I know. English
Wow.
speakers.
Yeah, Siberia, Rhino here. Like there's just so many random
La
games put together
Granja,
here.
nice.
Yeah.
That one's a fun one to play on. I played on BGA. Man, he's got Hansa Teutonica there, real nice to see. Kalis,
Yep.
which is like a classic that we have to play still.
Yep. I just another moment for that shelf. Like, look at that. It's just
Also, with
ridiculous.
a Dune board game, but it doesn't look like the I don't know if that's the classic Dune. I don't think it is. I don't know what the classic
Oh.
box looks like. But I think
That
it's
must be though, because if it's that old, I think there was only that one from 1979 or whatever, and this is definitely before whatever with Gale Force 9 reprinted it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that
yeah.
copy of it. And that's
I don't. That's
man, I wonder how much this guy's collection would be worth if he just
I
sold it
know.
all as
And he-
is. Like,
And he just got rid of 114 games. This is what's left. It's
yeah.
wild. Yeah, and here we
Well,
go with some
and
more.
he's not too far. I think he's in Minnesota. So the next time he's selling games, we got to maybe head on
true,
down there and see what
true.
kind of gems we can pick up.
Tigers and
Agreed.
Raiders.
So my question for you guys on this shelf was going to be, what used to be right here, or what would you put right here?
What would I put right there? Probably a copy of Just One.
I don't know. I'm trying to look. There's no like consistency
Like-
for designer. Like it's there's CGE games, but like Vladikavatil does Dungeon Pets.
Yeah, code
The
names.
Italians
maybe?
do Tolkien.
Yeah,
Come on.
cool names.
Hey, that's a isn't that a Vladikavatil and CGE?
Oh
joint?
yes, sorry.
right?
Good. Sorry, I thought you were just bringing party games after you mentioned just one. I thought you were gonna say puns of anarchy next.
Oh, don't get me started.
Look at this heavy shelf right here.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's got the
Oh.
Venush Deluxe. He's got. Wait, why is Rococo slid in between the other Lacerda games? He's got Lisboa and Venush, and Kanban and the Gallerist are all Vital Lacerda, but Rococo is not.
But you
Bill.
know, it's pseudo Vitalicerda. It qualifies in his mind. And then the other crazy thing is we were talking so much about shrink wrapped games. What about bubble wrapped games?
Embarcadero in bubble wrap. Wow.
Not only shrink wrapped, but also bubble wrapped. Like, that is wild to me. I could never. And then last one we're gonna look at here. Let's start with these old games at the top here. We've got the Dukes of Hazzard. We've got
Yeah.
Why is this not in the other stack with the all those other old?
and also why is Dice Forge up here with Scrabble and Clue Junior? Also, I just realized this is just the extension of the other shelf because we're seeing what's on the other side of the bubble wrap.
Dice Forge down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, Dice Forge down here,
Oh, yeah.
but then Dice Forge up here as well. What else we got? Clank. Oh, Clank Legacy.
Hey,
So jealous.
CO2, another Lacerda game. Just switch this with Rococo. Come on, Phil.
It's so easy.
Yeah,
It's
true.
right
It's so
there.
easy. Yeah, and I mean, like, there's Risk Legacy down there. Patchwork for some reason on this shelf
Why not,
out of
baby?
nowhere.
Weird,
Yeah, why
Is
not?
that, yeah, okay. And then where Agricola?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
didn't you say that he was Team Agricola? Where's his copy?
Oh,
of
you're
Agricola?
right. Yeah, you see, I tried to say that this is the last photo I had, but you guys caught me because here's the last photo he has, which is his personalized Agricola.
Wow.
Look
Okay.
at this Agricola setup.
Wow.
How nice is that, Carl? How jealous does that make
I
you?
love it. And this is a guy who leaves games in shrink, and he went and bought a specific wooden chest for the greatest game of all time.
Look,
My
look
man,
how
Phil.
look how nice those wooden components look in these little compartments. That is
Yeah.
so nice.
And he's obviously got like the real nice, like they're actual animals and actual like shapes of the veggies. And unlike the version I have, that's just like cubes and discs for everything. Real nice, Phil. Team Agricola
Yeah.
for life.
Team Agricola. And it's hard
Oh,
to
Dylan
argue.
said it. Oh, Braden, you're gonna have
Not-
to
not
clip,
for me.
oh my God, Dylan said it. Braden, you're gonna have to clip that out. He said Team
Oh,
Agricola.
I didn't say
Slow it
I'm
down.
Team Agricola.
Well, we'll have to assess the footage.
We can definitely
separately
make you.
sometime.
We can definitely make you say that.
Oh no! I should have known I could never say those words at risk
Yeah.
of it
This
being
can be a
turned
clip.
into
Dylan going,
something.
I'm Team Agricola, playing on loop over and over and over.
I'm Team Agricola. I'm Team Agricola.
I'm Team Agricola.
Thank you so much, Phil, for sending in your collection. Yeah, thanks for. I mean, it took a lot of time to take all these photos. I just please do something before those shelves collapse. That's my one ask of you.
I just want to know, where did the other 100 games get stored before?
I know, no
Yeah.
kidding. They were just on.
Great question.
You know what? You know what probably happened? They were on shelves that broke down, and so he had to go sell them. he waits for a shelf to break, and then he sells those games. That's the game he's playing.
That makes sense.
And also,
call,
Phil,
good
tell
call.
us what video of Dylan's you were watching.
Yeah, I would like to know. All right, last collection is a good friend of ours, and actually, if you watched our holiday gift guide, he's the owner of Victory Pints, where we filmed that video. He's the sponsor of our videos as well, or Victory Pints is. We love Dave, and we love Victory Pints, and he sent in his collection for us to roast. He's a brave one. And so here it is. This is Dave's collection.
Oh, no.
Let's start on the top, because Top Shelf Dylan goes to this sideways box of what I think is Moonrakers.
Nope. That's Blood on the Clock Tower.
Blood on the Clock Tower.
Oh, but that's just the sleeve. If you look at the bottom, you can see it's just like the
It is
outer
just the sleeve,
for it.
yes.
Oh, you're right.
That is Blood on the Clock Tower, though.
But you know he put that there just because he wanted to
But
have that.
beside it on the right, that is the actual game.
Oh, yeah,
right there.
Perfect. Okay, so Top Shelf Dylan is indeed Blood on the Clock Tower. I just need to know why it's not in the sleeve. Like, why that would be such an easy thing to fix, just to help with the organization. But
No, I've taken my sleeve off. It's actually at like my work desk.
okay.
And Blood on the Clock Tower up there, along with such classics as Stop Thief, Electronic
Yeah.
Robbers.
In sequence, yeah. Power Grid is separated from Power Grid the First Sparks.
Yeah, the expansion, yeah.
Big offender.
And he's just like stacking title blades, that giant box on Keyflower. Dave,
yeah.
show Keyflower some respect.
Keyflower should be on top of this entire
Yeah,
stack.
yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta keep in mind this person sells and organizes games for a living. Like,
Yeah.
it's a pretty bad offense.
People, his store looks way nicer than this. Trust me.
What is Pay Dirt? I've never heard of that game. Anybody? Pay Dirt?
No idea.
It's gold.
Oh,
That's just what pay dirt is. It's you find it in the ground and people will pay you money for it.
There you go.
I will say, so see Vikings on the top left? I'm going to have a theory based on this game alone. One of the
Okay.
times I was in the store a while ago, that was on his used game shelf that someone had clearly traded in. I think the used game trade-in section is just his way of secretly getting like first dibs on people's like he's just like, "Oh, I'll take that to the back. That's mine now." No one gets to play that.
I mean, to be fair,
Kramer and Kiesling game that
if I owned a board game store, I would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, oh yeah. Not casting shade. I mostly say it because I thought about buying Vikings because it's a Kramer and Kiesling game, and I noticed it was no longer there.
What is this? Do you think he made this mask? Do you think it was given to him by a fan? Do you think he bought it? What's the significance of this helmet here?
I think it's a Kickstarter exclusive attached to Stop Thief.
Oh, that's such a great guess. Yeah, the special Kickstarter deluxe edition of Stop Thief comes with a medieval helmet. I love it. Also just want to say, if you look at this shelf from like the full wide, it kind of looks like he's playing a large game of Jenga with his board games because they're all extended out at different angles and everything. It's no uniformity here.
Didn't he say that either one of the shelves, either the left half or the right half, is all unplayed games? It's one or the other. I'm pretty sure he said one of those shelves is all games he has never played.
It's got to be the left thing because there's shrink wrap games on the left.
And
there you go.
there's
Yeah.
and then there's Agricola on the left too.
Yeah,
I know he's made it clear that he hasn't played it yet.
Yeah, and there's a reason why he's never played it.
Wow. Yeah, because he's waiting to play with me. Anytime, Dave. Anytime.
We've got Nuns on the Run. I think we've actually talked about this game in a previous
so.
collection roast. I think that came
Somehow.
out. Yeah, somehow.
How
Right?
can you not point it out when you see it, right?
I know.
True.
I just love the name.
Man, he's got Lords of Vegas.
I
I've
know.
heard that's so good. Didn't he say that's one of his favorite of all time too?
I think so. Yeah, and I really want to play that game. It's been on my list for a while. Yeah. Carlo.
Bob Ross, The Art of Chill. Sorry,
I know. No. that I was going to point it out, so we'll jump to it. Yeah, I love when we see this on shelves. It's
Me
so
too.
great.
Me too. Dave, you got to play Bob Ross, The Art of Chill.
The thing I wanted to point out for you, Carlo, just to ask how you feel about it is, how do you feel about looking at 5 collections and not seeing a single copy of Race for the Galaxy, but here's Roll for the Galaxy?
Oh, you had to hit me with both of those facts, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I've been waiting
Man,
right for this moment.
I don't even like it.
So apparently, it's such a like well-loved game, but it feels like nobody that loves the game watches our channel, or at least doesn't submit their collections to our roasting series. It's just like we never see that game anywhere.
I also went to.
I know the fans are out there.
Yeah, lots of great games on the shelf. I just think that Dave, it's time to do to this shelf what you do to your actual store that the public sees, because that's so well organized and it looks immaculate every time we come in. And I want this shelf to get updated and you to send us a photo where it looks just as immaculate as the rest of your store.
Give it the true Victory Pints treatment.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
But thank you so
There's
much.
so many games there that I want to play.
I know. Thank you so much for saying the collection, but also let's play some board games soon, and either invite us to the store into this secret back room, or we'll invite you over and you bring some of these, even some of the ones on the left side that you haven't played, except for Agricola. And
He's gonna show up with the medieval helmet and just stop thief under one arm. And that's it.
Yeah, tell us the background of the medieval helmet in the comments too. We would love to know if there's significance or if it truly is the Kickstarter add-in for Stop Thief.
I feel pretty confident about that.
And that's it. Thanks, Dave. That's all 5 collections. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and us raiding and roasting some collections. I feel like we weren't nearly as harsh on this video as we have been in the past, but maybe it's just our hearts are lightening up. Maybe we're just becoming better people every video that we do of these.
So it's that time of year trying to spread some of the holiday cheer,
Sure.
lay off people a bit. So, but
Yeah.
in the new year, oh boy, buckle up.
Buckle up. There's a lot of collections we got to go to, and we're just going to trash every single one of them.
Yeah, and we just quick note, we've had some people reach out and be like, "Are you still doing this series and sending updated photos and stuff?" Yes, we absolutely are. We won't be responding to everyone's emails reaching out, but if you've submitted photos in the past and we're going to roast your collection, we will let you know in advance so you can submit some updated photos. We just have quite the backlog to get to, but we will get to you eventually.
Yeah, exactly. There are so many to go through. But if you are a patron, we do put patron collections at the front of the line. And also another little tidbit is if we'll still look at your collection if you send like 20 photos, but it would also just be great if you sent like 3, just because it's so much easier for us to go through. Or if you do send 20, just knowing we might have to choose like a specific, handful to show instead of all 20. But either way, thank you so much for sending all your collections. If any of you see your collections on here, feel free to comment in the comments below so people can talk with you about the collections that we featured here. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
One short pig interlude later, a look into past the pigs. A short pig tangent. Oh god.